Hello and welcome back to the Three Gators podcast. My name is Gabe.
I'm Rodrigo.
And I'm Max.
And today we're going to be bringing you our best of list of the best movies that came out in 2017. However, Rodrigo's doing something a little bit different today.
Yeah, instead of my list being the best movies that released in 2017, I'm kind of doing a thing where I list the best movies that I saw in 2017. So instead of being the top movies that released last year, it's movies that I saw the last year.
Yeah,
for the first time.
Yeah, so that's why you might see a few things that don't really match up with what Max and I have as 2017 releases. But no, that's all good fun and whatnot. Also, I think we don't need to say this, but it's obvious that we didn't see every single movie that came out in 2017. This is just how we rank the movies that we saw based on how much we liked them, how much we enjoyed them, all that good stuff.
That's part of the reason why I'm doing my list the way I'm doing it, because I don't get around to seeing as many movies as you guys. Mm-hmm. So I have to, do something different.
Yeah. All right, so Max, why don't you start us off?
I'll start us off with number 10.
Or do you have any honorable mentions?
I do. you
don't have to bring it up now.
I don't.
Okay, we'll say that.
Doesn't really matter.
Okay. Wait. Are you going to do the thing where you say it at 2 or just before?
No, I'm going to, since it's a list of 10, I'll do it first.
Get it out.
Oh, okay.
I'll get it out of the way early.
Mine doesn't really matter, so I'm just going to go with my list.
Every movie matters.
Sure.
Every vote matters, man.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm gonna say number 10. Baby Driver.
Okay. So it did make it.
It did make it. I just watched this movie yesterday. That's exactly when I watched it. So
without us.
Well, Gabe had already seen it, and I thought
we had a pact, man.
I thought I was supposed to watch as many movies as I could before we did this list, and unfortunately,
which you were supposed to do.
Excuses.
But Baby Driver was supposed to be seen by all of us together.
I didn't put 3 and 3 together. I'm sorry.
All right, just talk about the movie.
I liked the movie. It was a lot of fun.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. Try and keep it spoiler free. But Baby Driver is a lot of fun. It was unique. I hadn't seen a movie like it in a long time. However, why it's ranked lower on my list is because I really enjoyed the movies I put above it. So that's really the only reason why it's number 10. It was a lot of fun, funny moments, and it was just action packed.
All right.
Disclaimer: there probably are spoilers in here, so just trying to throw just in case.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that most of the movies we're talking about have been out for a while.
Yeah.
So.
But
we can say what we want.
Yeah. But to start off my list, I'm gonna do something that's fairly unpopular. I know you two won't like.
Oh, I know.
My honorable mention is Logan.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait. What did you think it was?
I thought it was gonna be Lego Ninjago.
No.
I thought it was Logan.
No, my honorable mention. That's why I knew you guys would like it, because it is a good movie. It's just not the kind of movie that I usually enjoy.
Yeah.
My superhero movies are a lot less dark than that. Not that it's bad, just that I don't enjoy darker films as much as the others.
I didn't even think you were going to bring it up.
Oh, no, well, I brought it up.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to say. But number 10, I don't know where, if at all, but I enjoyed Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wonder Woman was
solid.
Probably the first DC movie I actually came out of the movie theater not regretting watching.
Yeah.
Or at home, because I did see a bunch of the early Superman movies, but I don't remember any of them.
Oh, you've seen them?
I've seen them, but don't know. Don't ask.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. I have seen them. I just don't know.
The first one.
But yeah, Wonder Woman was good. I big fan of Gal Gadot, Chris Pine. So, both of them together and that era and that setting worked well.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that you say that because Wonder Woman was heavily inspired by the first Superman movie.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, that's what the director wanted to go for.
Cool.
All right, so my number 10 is a movie that came out fairly recently, The Shape of Water, directed by Guillermo del Toro. It's pretty much an adult fairy tale. And the thing with Guillermo del Toro is that he loves his monsters. All of his movies have monsters of some kind or another. And this is the first time where the monster gets the girl. You watch all the Universal monster movies and they're all tragic and stuff, except for Dracula. He's just a dick. But this time, he finally gets the love of his life. And the cinematography is gorgeous. All the colors stand for something different. So like red is used for the cinema, for love and for passion. The greens and blues are used to represent water and fluidity and stuff like that. So it's really nice. The music is on point. The performances all around. Sally Hawkins, Michael Shannon, Doug Jones as the creature. It's all really well done. Immaculate design. And that's why it lands at my number 10.
Okay. That's great.
Who would have thought that blue stood for water?
Yeah.
No.
And flowy.
I'm just...
Like even when there's not water around,
there's
that's
still
what
blue.
I mean. Yeah,
I got you.
So you can tell like there's the influence there.
Yeah, from the first scene.
If you go to his Twitter, he actually put out a color coding of what they are.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Because someone tweeted him, "Look, I know the colors mean something. Just tell me what they mean." He's like, "Okay, this is what they all mean."
That was great. I'll go for my number 9.
Yeah.
All right, number 9 is Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Okay.
I did enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. There were some issues with it, and that's probably why it's not a little bit higher in my list. But the way they did Luke in this movie really, it's outstanding me. Mm-hmm. They showed that even a perfect Master Jedi has his flaws, and he's able to overcome them. But then he goes into hiding, and he still is a badass teacher there. I love the movie. That's really all I could say.
Well, no. Going into hiding is the final step above Master. Obi-Wan went into hiding. Yoda went into hiding. And now it's Luke's turn to go into hiding.
Yeah.
It's obvious. The signs are there.
Oh, it's obvious.
Come on, man.
Okay, I'm sorry.
At number 9 is another DC film, Justice League.
I thought it wasn't going to be on the list.
I thought, I thought it might get on the list. I thought Wonder Woman would have been higher.
And I'm gonna
because you disagreed with me in the car after. Yeah.
Another thing is, again, these are the lists as I rank them as. Okay, I rank them in the order that I enjoyed them.
Entertainment value.
Not in the order at which I think they are better pieces of work. I do think Wonder Woman is a better piece of work. I just enjoyed Justice League more because
I completely agree with you.
The group dynamic, there was a little more humor in it. It was just more of a fun film to watch and smile through. Wonder Woman was good, but Justice League was...
And Wonder Woman, I'd say, is objectively better.
Yes. But Justice League, I would have to say I personally enjoyed more.
Mm-hmm. Favorite character?
Favorite character? I'm a big fan of Flash.
You liked Ezra Miller?
Ezra Miller, yeah, you got it right.
I got it right.
I also I'm a big fan of Jason Momoa too, so... Aquaman or Flash, we'll see.
Alright, so coming in at my number 9, we have the Jordan Peele film Get Out.
Oh yeah! Wow, I thought it would be high.
Yeah, no. The thing with Get Out is I think it's a little bit overt with its statements and its commentary, but it handles the idea of racism and white liberalism really well. It has a perfect tone, balancing horror, thrills, humor, comedy. Great performances all around. Jordan Peele is a great director, and this is his first film. So to come out of a comedy background and do this
and be nominated for 4 strong categories.
Yeah, 4 strong categories.
Yeah.
He's one of the few African Americans that has been nominated for his first film in a producing thing for Best Picture, directing, and for writing.
Yeah.
So that's something. The script is great, and the movie only gets better with rewatches.
I still have to watch that one.
No, it's fantastic, man. You got to get around to it. They're re-releasing it in theaters.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of all the momentum.
Yeah, and also it's the most profitable film of all time now because it had such a low budget and made so much money.
Oh, most profitable. Okay.
Most profitable, yeah.
That's very different than...
Yeah.
Okay.
No, not top grossing. Yeah, Get Out.
But we're doing a podcast.
I actually stood up.
Just go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Number 8, I'm going to say Justice League.
Okay.
Wow, I thought it would have been higher.
Yeah, but there's a lot of really good, fun movies that I had.
And right before this podcast, you said this year was shit for movies.
I didn't say it was shit. There was not a lot of Academy worthy films. Anyway,
apparently there are 9 of them.
Apparently, Justice League was a lot of fun, as Rod talked about. I really liked the redemption quality it kind of gave BVS. I really enjoyed Batman and Superman's dynamic a little bit more on this one than I did BVS, and I actually really liked how they made Superman the OP character. I liked that. I liked how he made everything really easy because that's what he's supposed to do.
I liked it. I just think they could have made Steppenwolf a little bit.
Oh, they could have made him way more difficult.
Or for Superman because it just looked like he came in
and beat the shit out of him.
Shoo.
Yeah, but
Shoo.
Didn't even know Steppenwolf. That was the whole thing. I really didn't know that character. Like, if it was Darkseid, I wouldn't expect.
Oh, it's not going to happen with Darkseid.
No,
that's not going to happen.
Right, but that's what I meant. Like, it's henchman. It's a henchman.
It's a glorified henchman.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, he should shit all over this guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I liked about it. Mm-hmm. And again, the new dynamic of Aquaman and Flash joining the crew, super fun. Just a fun movie.
That was your number 8?
That was my number 8.
My number 8 is Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Oh,
it made your list.
Episode 8. It did make.
Was it the Porgs? It was the Porgs.
It was not so much the Porgs as it was those crystal wolves.
He liked the crystal wolves.
Awesome. Those
they were pretty cool.
So badass. What are they called in the movie?
I completely forgot. I'm looking.
They yelled at
They can't just be called the Crystal Wolves.
No. They had a name. I forgot.
Go on. Yeah, that movie. It was a little slow in the middle, but good time for me to kind of collect my thoughts and to think it through. It had probably one of the cooler uses of the fast warp, time warp.
The light speed.
That was amazing.
That's picturesque.
That was amazing. The silence and then just the picture was awesome. I don't know. I'm horrible with remembering details, but the planet that was all white, but then you scratch the surface and
it was salt, yeah,
and it was red. That was awesome. That looked amazing. And then what they did with Luke at the end was just brilliant.
The creature's called a Vulptex.
Vulptex?
Yes, one word, like Vulptex.
Like
Vulptex.
Vulptex.
Like Vulpix?
Yeah, but with a T, and instead of an I, it's an E.
Cool. No, big fan.
Yeah, it was pretty cool looking.
I want one.
All right, my number 8 is Logan Lucky.
I fucking... It's fucking...
What
yeah, it's a little known film. Okay, so Steven Soderbergh, the guy who directed the Ocean's 11 trilogy, he came out of retirement, did this film, which is another heist film, but this time they're robbing NASCAR. And it's got an all-star cast. You got like Adam Driver, Channing Tatum is the lead, Daniel Craig, Katie Holmes, a bunch of people were in it. And it's just so much fun, and it's really clever with how it handles the heist. It's got a great tone. It's set in West Virginia. It's really nice. The direction's really good. It's hilarious, and I think this is Daniel Craig's best performance.
Really?
What does robbing NASCAR mean?
They're stealing the money from NASCAR.
Oh, okay.
So when people place bets there, and they rig it so that everyone has to pay cash, so it's a lot of clever little things like that. Yeah. And then it goes back, because like there are some things you don't understand. It goes through flashbacks. It's like, oh, okay, now it all makes sense. It all clicks together. And at the end, like, it's funny, but it also has a little bit of heart at the end, too.
Okay.
So it hits you in all the right spots. It's a nice little film that not a lot of people got to see, but I implore you to go check it out.
I gotta say, doing these lists with you, you always pull a movie that I've never heard of. Like that was
because I seek them out, and because I'm so into the industry that I hear about them.
Yeah, I was like, Logan. I was like, that's really low for you, Gabe. That's really low. Lucky. Oh, okay.
I mean, when was the next time I could pull something like that? So.
Never.
Yeah.
My number 7 is The Disaster Artist.
Oh.
What? I loved it. It was a lot of fun. But, and I was telling Gabe about this the other day, there was a scene that really just pulled me away from it, and it was.
You mean pushed you away from it?
No, it physically dragged me away from the film.
The cane that comes up and gets you by the neck.
Yeah, that one. Pulled me away. I couldn't look at, it made me feel
awkward.
It wasn't so much awkward, but bad.
Cringe.
Cringe. It was a cringe where he.
Not cringe as in the movie had a bad acting moment or anything.
No. It was just the scenario and the scene that it was in. Should I talk about it?
Yeah, it's not a spoiler.
Okay, so it was like when. What's the guy? Oh my god. Tommy, but James Franco had to play sex with the girl, and he was like, oh, she's disgusting. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, get her to makeup.
Makeup girl.
Get her, fix her up, make her look pretty. I was like, that's really mean. That was imagining having to do that scene. I mean, yeah, it was taken on real context. I was just like, So that pulled it away from the above. So, but it's still, I liked it more than Justice League. So
yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
That was a good time when all of us went to go see it.
Oh yeah, it was great.
What a story, Gabe. That's at my number 7.
Really?
The Room. Yeah.
Oh, The Room. Okay,
it's not Disaster Artist.
Okay,
The Room.
All right.
The movie
that's the first
which
one.
the Disaster Artist is based on.
The first one that's not 2017.
From 2017. This movie came out 2003.
2003.
But you showed it to me for the first time this year, and it changed my life. For the better. It is such a bad movie that you must watch it. It is a spectacle as to how this movie just does anything that it does, because it's so bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad that you can actually enjoy it. It's that bad. It's that bad.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The Disaster Artist is the movie that is based off of The Room's creation.
Yeah. So, The Disaster Artist is based on the book.
Off the book.
Off
of The Room.
Off of The Room.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm glad it made your list.
Yeah.
All right, so now I'm not going to riot. So my number 7 is another film you guys haven't heard of, Wind River.
Wind River?
Wind River.
Okay.
You're combining two elements that's not supposed to.
So what it is like there's a Native American area in Wyoming, like a reserve, and a murder happens on there. And Jeremy Renner is like the resident wildlife expert, and he's tasked with helping the FBI agent played by Elizabeth Olsen. So you got two MCU people there as the leads, and they have to find out who murdered her, why, and all that. It's a great mystery, the way it unfolds. Jeremy Renner's best performance by far.
Really?
Like not even close. It's written and directed by Taylor Sheridan, who did Sicario and Hell or High Water, 2 great films. And the thing is that the movie's a really slow burn. Like, it's really investigative, it takes its time, and then by the time you hit the last act, it just explodes completely. Like, it just hits you out of nowhere. You don't expect it, you don't see it coming.
Were you safe?
But it all works. Huh?
Were you okay?
No,
Were you okay?
No. I sustained some injuries.
Oh, okay.
To my heart. and the final text that appears, like, to close out the film, will leave you speechless. And that's all I'm going to say. So yeah, Wind River at number 7.
I gotta watch it. Mm-hmm. It's a murder mystery?
Yes.
I love murder mysteries. Okay. I gotta go back to my list. I'm 6?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're on 6.
I'm on 6. This movie came out really early last year, and I was really disappointed that it wasn't nominated for anything in the Academy Awards.
Oh, good.
Because James McAvoy in Split was phenomenal. There was no performance last year that topped his, for me at least. Just because he was so... He didn't play one character. He played 4 different characters. And did it phenomenally. Split was fantastic. And I was really glad that Gabe was able to take me to that. Even though I was like, no, I don't want to see that. It's kind of going to be creepy. I don't really want to see it.
Buck up, man. We're going.
Buck up. And what's M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong?
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Let that sink in.
He does it all the time.
I do it all the time. But I was just like...
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I didn't think he had it in him.
I think he deserves his name back, though.
M. Night Shyamalan.
At this point, he does.
What is it?
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan came back, after, what was it? How many years?
Was Unbreakable his last thing?
No. His last good film really was Signs. Really was Signs in 2002.
Yeah.
And then he came back with The Visit in 2015, which is like, okay, you're starting something. You're starting small.
But that wasn't a hit.
And then Split came out.
It was good, but like it was a really small film, in budget and approach. Yeah. But it was regarded as good.
So, Split knocked it out of the ballpark, and I can't wait to see. Was it Mr. Glass?
It's just Glass. Just Glass.
Just Glass.
I thought this would have been in your top 3.
Yeah, I did too.
I thought it would have been in your top 3. No question.
Yeah, I did too. There's so many more, more enjoyment.
All right. We'll get to it.
So that's it. Number 6, Split.
My next one is another movie that actually didn't come out last year, technically. But I saw it recently, so kind of counts on that list. Django Unchained.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so happy. You got to give context now.
Yeah, no, okay. So the thing is... so if the name doesn't give it away, we go to the University of Florida here. And one of the main things we do here in the fall is football. Now, that being said, one of our main rivals, you could say, we play them every year in Jacksonville, they're Georgia Bulldogs. Ugh. Okay, so this year, but this year they were on a tear. They were on a tear we haven't seen in well over a decade. But the last 3 years has gone to the Gators. So I was like, there's nothing to worry about. No big deal. Whatever. They're number 1. So what? It'll be better when they fall. So Gabe and I made a friendly little bet, because there wasn't much to lose, where if the Gators won, I got to show him a movie that I picked. It could be a bad movie for torture, a good movie to expose him to something, or vice versa. If the Bulldogs won, he would have to show me a movie. Needless to say, they won, unfortunately. And the movie he picked was Django Unchained, and I'm actually very glad for that, because I got to see Christoph Waltz, sorry. He's actually German, right?
He's actually German, yes.
Yeah. He was awesome. He was my favorite part of the movie.
He won the Academy Award.
Jamie Foxx was unbelievable. And
DiCaprio
was phenomenal.
Sam
Jackson was good, but I hated his character. Just fucking
he was
asshole.
Dick. He was a dick.
But I mean, to be fair, DiCaprio was also an asshole, but he played an asshole so well. Not that Jackson didn't, but oh man, they're 2 different assholes.
Jackson just got under your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
DiCaprio, but just great cast, great acting, great movie. Especially the first 55 minutes. Mm-hmm. That was my favorite part of the film. It's just all vengeance.
I completely forgot that it qualified for his list.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I was going to put it in my honorable mentions, but then I was like, that's not a 2017 film.
I'm glad it did, though. I'm glad
I'm so happy. Well, I could just leave right now. I'm so happy. All right.
Oh, we have a podcast.
But no, let's finish up this list. Number 6 for me is Dunkirk.
Yeah?
Yeah. This, to me, has cemented the fact that Christopher Nolan is one of the best directors working right now. When your worst film is Interstellar, that is saying something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's expertly made. It's super artistic, given that it's a war film. The characters aren't exactly deep, and you can't really get attached to most of them. But that's not really the point. It's more about showcasing
the story,
the war. Yeah. And the cool thing about it is that at the beginning they show you like a little bit of text and you don't know exactly what it means, but then you realize that the 3 different settings of the film take place at different speeds, so that when they overlap, like sometimes it'll go from night to day and then back to night. You're like, wait, what's happening here? One's playing over the course of a week, one's playing over the course of a day, and the other over the course of an hour. So when they finally intersect and overlap, it's just phenomenal.
When they eventually all hit at the same time?
Yeah, and it's just one of the most intense experiences I've ever had in a theater. Because the use of sound by Hans Zimmer and like the little sound mixing and sound editing, it just... Oh, you're on the edge of your seat the entire time, and you are out of breath by the time you walk into the theater. You are exhausted.
And on top of the fact that it's just a good story to make it...
Oh, it's a fantastic story.
Yeah. It's a great story.
Yeah, so Dunkirk, my number 6.
That's impressive. That's pretty cool. My number 5, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Really?
I loved Tom Holland. He was fantastic. I really wasn't a big fan of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I didn't even see the second one. I couldn't. I was a bigger fan of Tobey Maguire. But then Tom Holland came out in Civil War, and I just couldn't wait to see him again. So when Homecoming hit, I was just like, I gotta see it. And
you did.
Did we see it opening night?
Rodrigo and I did.
Where
you were in Gainesville.
When did Spider-Man release?
It came out July 6th, which was
that was
the Thursday
Why was
show.
In Gainesville?
Huh?
Because I had summer classes.
He came back up for summer classes.
Yeah, I never went down.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, he never went down.
No, he did come down and then he went back up.
He came down probably for like a break or something.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't come to live back home for a while.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I was like, what? But yes, so I saw Spider-Man Homecoming and I loved it. I liked and I also, one of the big things I liked about this movie was the dynamic they did with the supervillain.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he was trying to do his best to do right by his family.
He's human.
And but he, got caught up in the greed and caught up in that, and discovering Peter Parker's identity, or Spider-Man's identity as Peter Parker, was just mind-blowing. I was like, oh my god, they know. Like, he knows. It just it was awesome. I just had so much fun with it. And I watched it a second time.
And you own it.
And I do own it.
Yeah.
I don't own Split.
Yeah, well, this one's higher on your list anyway, so that makes more sense.
Yeah, here's a tissue.
Yeah.
Coming in at my number 5 is Jumanji.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big fan of.
Wow.
That high. Hey man, I wouldn't say sucker, but I'm just a big fan of comedy. I love nothing more than to laugh, and if there's a little action in there, sure. Which this one did. You had the Kevin Hart, hilarious. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, big fan. Can do basically anything, in my opinion. There's a resident rock hater. Yeah. But yeah, that's a great combo. They were in CIA. I never saw that movie, but if it's
Central Intelligence.
That's what it's
called. Whatever. If it's anything like this film, I got to get around to it eventually. These aren't great films, aren't going to win, best movie of the year, but
they're fun and enjoyable.
I enjoyed them, and you know what? That's all that matters.
What about Jack Black?
Oh, awesome.
He was fantastic.
Awesome.
Loved
the best part.
Which was weird. He played a teenage girl surprisingly well. I gotta say, he managed to hit everything spot on. And I don't know the actress's name. What's the actress?
Karen Gillan.
Karen Gillan?
Yeah, Gillan. Yeah.
The female.
Yeah.
The when they turn into the
yes.
game. Okay.
She's pretty.
Yeah.
She was pretty.
Yeah, she is. And she's alive.
Yeah, I know. But the whole going to the bathroom
scene.
Oh
my god! I was gonna say that's the funniest part.
That is hilarious. That was so funny.
Oh my god! It's got a handle. Okay, so we're up to
your 5.
My 5. Okay, my number 5 is The Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
Oh hi, Mark.
Oh, hi.
So based on the book that we said, this to me was the funniest film of the year. I haven't laughed this hard probably since Deadpool. Probably that, yeah. So
there we go.
So almost 2 years.
So it's just they don't make good comedies anymore.
You need to laugh more, Gabe.
They don't make good comedies anymore. But yeah, and the thing is that it pokes fun at Tommy, but for the majority of it, you're laughing with him. It's because it takes you on the journey. It gives you a lot of context as to how this movie was made. It explains a lot. The celebrity cameos are fantastic and hilarious. And the thing is that, as funny as the movie is, it's also really well made, and it's an inspiration to filmmakers and aspiring artists that you just keep going for your dreams, no matter what, no matter how it turns out. And I think that's all captured in one scene at the end. Like, they sped up the time frame because it took Tommy a few months to cope with the fact that no one liked his movie. But like for the sake of the film, like they sped it up and it all makes sense. It might even get a tear out of you in one moment, because there's just one moment where it just brings Tommy so down to earth when he's watching his movie in the theater that you can't help but feel sorry for the guy. Yeah. James Franco is fantastic. He's unrecognizable in the role. You don't even see him. You just see Tommy Wiseau. Tommy Wiseau is on screen, and wow, I'm just really glad this movie came out well.
Yeah, did really well. I didn't think I'd watch it without The Room. Had I not seen The Room, I probably would.
Had I not seen The Room, I probably would have watched it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's one of the. After watching it, that's one of the movies where you need to see.
You know what's funny? I've heard some people that have seen it loved it and didn't see The Room.
I'm sure
there are people there.
But it's the same with Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. Yeah. You could still like it, but
it adds so much.
I think you would like it exponentially more if you saw the reason why it was being made, or if you saw the throwback to it, kind of thing.
Was that a shot at me?
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it was.
I haven't seen Jurassic Park.
You would have loved that last scene in Jurassic World so much more. And Gabe's with me on that one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. So now we're at my 4.
Yes.
I'm still surprised I put this one a little bit higher on my list.
As are we. No way.
Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, wow.
I loved Cate Blanchett's Hel. Hel. Right. I'm sorry. I forget that her name is Hel. Anyway. Like, hello. So anyway, I thought she was scary. I thought she was a really well fleshed out villain that we hadn't really gotten exposed to a lot in this MCU. So I was really intrigued to see her character. Also, it was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, it was.
What's the name of the rock guy? I don't remember.
Korg.
Thank you. He was fucking great.
We'll get to that.
He was great. And the whole. I gotta say, I think one of my favorite scenes in that film.
I think I know what you're gonna bring up.
Was when Hulk beat the shit out of Thor, and Loki jumps up and is like, "That's right.
Yeah. That's what
it feels like." Oh, it was so great. I love that, and I'm glad it brings up laughter.
No, it was awesome.
Because it was such a funny movie. It took away the seriousness of what Thor was for the last 2 movies, which I didn't mind because
it needed a little bit
because a lot of people didn't like the Thor movies.
A
lot of people saw the Thor movies as the weakest, and I can see that. And this was a risky move to make it comedic, but
it worked.
It worked.
And it was funny.
Very good dividends.
Yeah, it did really well, and that's why I put it so high. It's because it did it, and it was funny.
My number 4 is another movie that didn't come out this year.
Oh my god.
Came out 2014, I believe. This is the third one.
Oh, third one?
Paddington.
There it is.
Oh my god.
Paddington and their Marmalade. Such a cute movie. Oh my god. I'm surprised I didn't see this before.
I'm surprised it's not number 1 for you.
You'll see eventually.
Okay.
Because I was watching commercials for Paddington 2 and it drew me in. I was like, oh, I want to see this movie. But I knew there was a first one out there, and luckily, I just so happened to have found it on Netflix. Now that I'm on... Recently, I've been on this Netflix kind of binge.
There you go. That's the word.
And that was one of the movies that was available when I saw it, and it was just... oh my god, just the cutest thing. What's her name from Shape of Water? Sally Hawkins. She's the mom in this movie. I honestly couldn't tell you any of the actors because they're British and unrecognizable to me because I know no one. I don't even know the voice of Paddington, but the point is this movie was adorable. This movie's funny. This movie's cute. This movie's kind of got a little bit of suspense. And you're like, oh, what? So just highly recommend it. Especially if you're going to watch the second one, which I plan to.
Alright, so I'm going to level with you guys here. Making the top 4 was the hardest thing in the world for me.
Yeah?
All 4 of these films are very different, but of equal quality. So this order could change tomorrow. So take this order with a grain of salt.
It depends when you ask them.
This is essentially 4 number ones. This is how I'm presenting them. I have ordered them, but just really look at it as these are my 4 number ones, because picking between these is like picking a favorite child.
My God.
I have one. I already have one.
You already have one?
I don't have kids, but I already have my favorite kid.
I have a favorite kid too, but that's besides the point.
Okay, so my number 4 is Logan. This movie gave me everything I wanted and more. Some of the best trailers I've ever seen. It's the story of an aging superhero and how he has to cope with his impending death. And this is coming from someone who always has to heal.
Spoiler.
It's not a spoiler. It
came out in what, March?
Yeah, it came out in March.
The dead? I'm just saying. There's that one dude that didn't watch it.
I didn't say he died. I said he has to deal with his impending death.
Oh, then I spoiled it.
And he doesn't die.
Anyway, and the thing is that Fox went with such a risk here. They made it a Western in every single sense. To the fact that they show a Western film, the cinematography, the themes that are there. It's very much like Clint Eastwood's Unforgiven, in that Unforgiven deconstructs the Western genre. Logan takes that tone and deconstructs the superhero genre. Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart give probably their best performances, and damn are they good. And Daphne Keane, the girl, she's great too. This is an amazing script, resonant themes. This is a proper send-off for Logan and Professor X and Caliban. And
Caliban. Who's that guy?
The white guy. Personally, I prefer the black and white version known as Logan Noir. My only downside with that is that the violence and the blood is harder to see. But other than that, either version of the film, go out and watch it. In my top 3 superhero movies of all time. Honestly, just go check it out.
Well, that's my number 3.
Yeah,
oh
your
my
number 3.
Goodness. I love this movie. I'm going to say a little bit that making this list was very difficult. The whole list was difficult because I saw a lot of movies that were just a lot of fun and enjoyable. But these top 3, they brought something back to me. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was fantastic. I loved Chris Pratt. I loved all the harder names to pronounce.
What's the guy's name? The villain?
Oh, Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell
from Sky High.
From Sky High. He was, he passed as a normal guy. Just a normal guy.
Yeah, just has his own world.
Yeah, just a normal guy.
Just your normal guy.
Small G.
Small G.
Lowercase guy.
Lowercase.
No, that's what he says in the film.
That's what he says in the film. Small G. But I loved the best part of this film. Well, there's 2 best parts. The first best part was the guy that played Yondu.
Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker
was great. Yeah.
Amazing.
He was a highlight.
He was probably one of the highlights. Yeah. That's why I said he's 2 best things. So, that scene where he's on the ship and he's doing the whistling to, what's it?
Come a little bit closer.
Come a little bit closer was phenomenal. I love that whole scene where he's just bossing out. And at that point, you realize he's really overpowered. So bye! That leads into my second part where the ending of the film was phenomenal. It brought tears to my eyes every time I watch it, where Yondu dies, and the whole Ravager funeral and all that. It was just...
It's on Netflix.
I know. I own the movie. And the song, Father and Son, were just beautiful. And that's why it's number 3. I just loved it.
My 3rd is The Disaster Artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
What would you expect?
I thought it'd be top 2.
What was that?
I thought it'd be top 2.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Knowing me,
the way it was going,
you could probably pick out the top 2 now, but the order you don't know yet. But yeah, The Disaster Artist, just too funny. The beginning of the movie, not a big fan of. Before they realize, hey, we should make our own movie. When they're trying to make it a Stars, I'm kind of like, that's not what The Room was about. Essentially, The Room was him making his own movie. When they get to that part, that it's like WALL-E. The first half of WALL-E is probably the best. That in and of itself could be the best Pixar movie ever. The Disaster Artist, once they decide let's make our movie, that part could be the best movie of the year. But unfortunately, given as a whole, maybe not. But that movie was just so funny. I couldn't stop laughing after that, and it to the point where I was in pain.
Yeah,
like I was laughing so hard that it hurt.
It doesn't let up.
But I loved it. So funny.
Okay, so my number 3, Baby Driver. I think this is Edgar Wright's best film. I'm a fan of the Cornetto trilogy, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. I like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, but I think Baby Driver is where he really, really knocks it out of the park. The other films are great too. And I just don't understand how anyone can not like this film to any degree. Like, how can this movie not put a smile on your face? It's a passion project and the effort shows. It's got a fantastic, roaring soundtrack, masterful editing and sound mixing. Seriously, this is some of the best editing I've ever seen. Wright's attention to detail, where he puts lyrics of the song in the background, where there are little hints and visual cues everywhere. Fabulous performances, exhilarating and witty. And for me, this is tied for the best directed film of the year. What? So, I'll get to that.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, Baby Driver, go out and see it, please. Please.
Don't tell me what to do.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. So top two. My number two. Wonder Woman.
Oh, well, I was so much higher on the list.
I know, because he came out of Justice League saying that this was his favorite DC film.
Again,
favorite. Oh well, this is
a favorite list, but it's also the best list.
I mean, he can do it however he wants.
But. No, it's true, but
it's true. And remember how I was talking about the villain in that movie? I know y'all didn't like Ares.
No.
I loved Ares. I thought his design was fantastic. I liked the concept behind Ares. I just love the fact that he was the whisper in everybody's ear that led them to war.
Oh, it's cool, but
there's a mustache.
Yeah, find me with a mustache and I will laugh.
I'll
lose, but I'll laugh.
I didn't even see. I wasn't paying that much attention to the. I was more.
You were focused on the bigger picture.
Yeah, fanboy of the bigger picture of they brought his armor into the movie. I thought it was just going to be just a voice.
What about the film as a whole?
The film as a whole was fantastic. I loved Gal Gadot and Chris Pine, and I loved their interaction, especially the trench scene.
Chris Pine.
Oh yeah, the No Man's Land.
The No Man's Land.
Did you say Gal Gadot?
I heard Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. Anyway, there were laughs, there was sadness, there was heart.
There was Gal Gadot.
So that means there was wood. That means
what?
Boner. She was pretty.
Wow.
This is a family show, man.
It's a family stream.
Not anymore.
But anyway, so I just loved it.
You're gonna put us on late night now.
It was so much fun. It was
number two.
Number two. Damn.
I didn't see that coming.
Because it also revived my hope in DC. Everything before I was just like, God, please. Just please.
It was important for me.
I'm surprised that it beat out Guardians 2 and Thor Ragnarok for him.
Yeah.
That's what gets me.
I'm not.
Alright.
Thor maybe, but my number two is another comic book film. It's Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, okay. I'll take
Thor Ragnarok, probably the funniest Marvel movie I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. I'm just thinking that you might have forgotten a movie, but keep going.
Definitely the funniest movie I've seen. Funniest Marvel movie I've seen. What's the director's name?
For Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Taika Waititi.
He's the guy who plays Korg, and he was hilarious. That was my favorite character. He had my favorite line in the movie. It was just too funny.
The revolution.
It was so funny. I tried to start a revolution, but I didn't print up pamphlets. None of the people showed up. I was that sore thumb in the movie theater that literally could not stop laughing for probably the next 5 minutes.
Yes.
No.
I know.
And I wasn't just like laughing to myself. I was cracking up.
I was sitting right next to you.
People were looking at me for the next, and we're in the next scene already. And
I'm still laughing.
Dude,
I was watching you and Gabe crack up nonstop that whole movie.
That was great.
There's that.
It's great.
Chris Hemsworth is awesome. Mark Ruffalo is great, especially falling out of that helicopter, or that plane, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the movie even starts with one of the funnier jokes I've seen where he's stuck in the chains. He's talking to Ragnarok, and he's like, hold on, wait, no, he's spinning around. And then they start talking again. No, wait, hold on, let me get back around. That movie was just funny. The beginning and the end, inside and out, awesome.
All right. I want to know what your number one is because I think you might have forgotten something, but we'll get to that.
We'll see.
My number two, Blade Runner 2049. This is a sequel we didn't need, but it stands on its own wonderfully. Honestly, we didn't need it, but that doesn't detract from it. It's still fantastically made. It's a little long. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Ooh.
But the quality is comparable to the first. Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford. Ryan Gosling is one of the best actors working today, and Harrison Ford has not lost a beat since 1982. Denis Villeneuve to me, is the best director working right now. And that's the tie that I mentioned with Edgar Wright for Baby Driver. That's the tie. Denis Villeneuve directs the shit out of this movie. Roger Deakins for the cinematography. This is one of the most gorgeous films I've ever seen. It takes you all the way back to 1982. The world just sucks you in. 1982 when the film came out, not the setting. Because it takes place in 2049.
I was like, that's not the year.
The music by Hans Zimmer is fantastic. Callbacks to the first again. But it stays on its own. It doesn't use the first one as a crutch. It tells its own story that wasn't necessary to tell, but damn does it make itself seem important in telling it. It brings up, again, potent themes of humanity that are very powerful, and this is a film that needs to be dissected and rewatched. It is an emotional journey through and through.
Do you need to watch the first one? Or not really?
Does it help? It helps a lot.
So Jurassic World, Jurassic Park.
You could watch Blade Runner 2049 on its own, but it helps a lot more if you see Blade Runner. I'll say this. It's easier to see The Disaster Artist without The Room than it is to see 2049 without the first one.
So you recommend watching the first one?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I gotta do that. My number one?
Yeah.
Gabe knows what it is.
I know what it is.
Does he?
Yep.
I know what it is.
You know what it is.
And I'm glad it is. All right, go on. Say it.
It is Logan.
Lucky. What?
What? No, it's not Logan Lucky. It is Logan. I recently watched the movie again, and I cried again. Like, it is a fantastic film. It goes from you don't know what the fuck's happening, where he's locked Professor X in a room, to okay, now I'm on the edge of my seat crying my ass out. Like, just, it's so emotional. It was the best, as Gabe mentioned, best performances of Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart. I'm having a day. But it was so good. Everything I wanted to say about Logan was taken by Gabe. It's just, you have to see it.
Best part of the film was when he gets chewed out in Spanish. That was awesome.
I like the part where he screams back, "Shut the fuck up!"
So we're at my top film. What is the movie you thought I forgot? Oh, should I say it first?
Say yours first.
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
That's
Lego Batman.
No, I didn't forget.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it didn't make your top 10?
No.
Wow.
What?
I know.
Wait. And earlier in the year, you said Baywatch was your favorite.
Baywatch was good too.
So all those other films topped it?
Yeah.
Both of those? Oh, okay. All right, go on.
Yeah, that's it. Baywatch could have been an honorable mention. I enjoyed it a lot, but looking back, I was kind of like, yeah, maybe not as much. Same with Lego Batman. Lego Batman was good.
I also forgot.
It was nowhere near as good as the Lego movie, but that's not the whole point. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't be comparing all the time. It just, I guess with time, it wasn't as good as I remember it being.
It didn't hold up.
Yeah. But Spider-Man: Homecoming not only does that, but it's just as good as before. It's just probably my favorite new superhero coming out. We still have to see Black Panther, so we'll see. But it's a team of, well, first of all, New York never gets old. New York City is the best place for setting ever. It's a high school. It's a high school nerd. So you kind of, get I wasn't a jock in high school, so I can kind of feel where he's coming from. I wasn't a smart, but that's not the point. It's just this high school nerd who's doing his own thing with his friends in New York City, and in DC, two of the coolest cities in the country, and they bring in my favorite Marvel superhero and my favorite superhero period, Iron Man, with him and just Robert Downey Jr. and everything that he comes with. It was a great concoction of just ingredients.
I'm glad that's his number one.
I remember coming out and I was surprised to hear how much he loved it. Like, after we were all texting the group chat after, you guys were like, "Oh yeah, my God, I love it."
The second I saw that trailer where Spider-Man's coming around a building on his web and there's Iron Man in the back, I was sold. I was like, "Oh, that's it. That's all I need."
Yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming was good. Yeah. My number one.
It's also your number one.
No,
you peaked.
No.
You freaking peaked.
No, he didn't like it that much.
No, he liked it.
No, it's good. I just didn't think it was great, but fair enough, you guys did. That's fine. It's totally fine. We can all have different opinions and still be friends.
There's hair on my toe.
Yeah, it's Michelle.
It's Michelle.
Yeah.
Damn it. I was like, why is this? I'm sorry, that was funny.
Alright, bringing it back around. My number one is War for the Planet of the Apes.
Oh god, that's right. That came out this year.
Yeah, okay. Now let me talk about the title for a second. It has war in there. And I went in expecting action based on like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Rise of the Planet of the Apes. And there is action. But the war is more talking about the war in Caesar's mind, the main ape. And this movie is so intelligent. Now, my top four are all great on visual storytelling and War for the Planet of the Apes is included in that category. The shot composition and the way it tells its story without much dialogue. This is, for long portions of this movie, it's a silent film. The apes aren't talking, or they're using sign language, stuff like that. And it's fantastic. Andy Serkis, to me, gave the best performance of the year as Caesar. Bar none. This was such an emotional performance, a great cap to the character that we followed for this trilogy. The visual effects have escalated to the seamless category. You cannot tell the difference between what is CGI and what is practical and what is real. All these characters are fleshed out and three-dimensional. Woody Harrelson was a fantastic villain. It pays homage to the franchise as a whole, but it's also doing its own thing. It's very different. I went in expecting something similar to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I got Schindler's List. That's essentially what this movie is. The closest similarity I can pull is Schindler's List. It goes into a prison movie. It just plays on your heartstrings, and to me, it had the biggest emotional response of the year with that ending. And right now, as soon as the film came out, I thought about it for a while, and I came to the conclusion that this is one of the best trilogies ever made. And a lot of people are saying it too. A lot of people are deeming it the best.
What are the other names of the movies? There's like War blank Planet of the Apes. War blank Planet of the Apes.
There's Rise, Dawn, and War.
Oh,
this is the new trilogy. Yeah.
So it's Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Got it.
And that's just the new trilogy. There are other films before, but
yeah, but the recent trilogy.
Yeah, the recent trilogy. It's those three.
Okay.
And yeah, Matt Reeves did a fantastic job directing. I can't say any more about this. It just.
He tried saying more. He couldn't.
I couldn't. No, the words escaped me. So that's my number one.
I got a quick question for you, Gabe.
Yeah.
There's only one right answer.
Mm-hmm.
Is there?
No, but there is. So this trilogy, the War of the Planet of the Apes, or your Star Wars trilogy?
I'll get back to you.
Why you compared?
I'm not comparing. I'm just saying the Star Wars fan has something fighting you.
This trilogy can go toe to toe with Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, The Man with No Name. What else?
No, you know what the best part is?
And the Indiana Jones trilogy.
You know
can go toe to toe with any of these.
It doesn't have to.
No,
we have all of them.
Yeah, we do.
I'm living by Jeff Goldblum's philosophy now.
Yeah, no, you don't have to pick and choose.
Exactly.
Just enjoy what
we
you
have
want.
all of them.
Exactly.
DC or Marvel? We have both.
Just love both.
We have both.
Yeah, you read that tweet from Goldblum? That was hilarious.
Although Marvel.
He's like, they're just comics.
Although Marvel.
They're both comics.
DC.
No. Not movies.
Not movies.
Dark Horse.
Okay.
Dark Horse Comics.
All right.
Alright, so let's recap.
You want to recap? Okay, so Max is number 10. Baby Driver. Number 9. Star Wars The Last Jedi. Number 8. Justice League. Number 7. The Disaster Artist. Number 6. Split. 5. Spider-Man Homecoming. 4. Thor Ragnarok. 3. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. 2. Wonder Woman. 1. Logan. I got winded at the end of that. I was Jesus.
You thought about the ending again to Logan.
Yeah.
It's funny. It makes like a cool ladder because my honorable mention was Logan.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking of that.
10 was Wonder Woman. Then we had Justice League, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, The Room, Django Unchained, Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle, Paddington, The Disaster Artist, Thor Ragnarok, and Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay, just a quick shout out to some honorable mentions. Coco is one of Pixar's best films, and that ending nearly brought me to tears. It was super close.
That's why I didn't want to watch it.
John Wick 2, just as good as the first, maybe better. And Split almost made the list.
Almost.
I'm also surprised you guys didn't notice that Star Wars is not on my list. It was
yes,
close.
Yes and no.
It was close, but all right.
I'm not surprised. Man.
By the way, you know what?
I did love that film though.
What movie didn't make any of our lists?
Which film?
Lego Batman. That one didn't.
Kingsman: The Golden Circle.
No,
I'm surprised it didn't make either of yours.
I'm surprised it didn't make his.
Yeah, I'm surprised it didn't make yours.
I forgot.
Oh no.
Oh man, would it have made it?
Yes.
Yes, I figured. I was
top 5.
It's in top 5. Probably.
Okay. All right. Let me go through my 10 then.
Yeah.
Number 10, The Shape of Water. Number 9, Get Out. Number 8, Logan Lucky. Number 7, Wind River. Number 6, Dunkirk. Number 5, The Disaster Artist. And then my 4 number 1s, but I'm gonna give them to you. I couldn't pick, man. But
no, it's
this is the order I put them in.
I do that with my Pixar list.
Yeah,
I have
honestly,
3 number 1s.
Honestly, don't take this to heart. Number 4 is Logan. Number 3 is Baby Driver. Number 2 is Blade Runner 2049, and my number 1 film is War for the Planet of the Apes. Wow, Kingsman.
All right.
All right. So I got throw that in somewhere. We'll see.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to the Three Gators podcast on our best films or favorite films of 2017, and we hope you tune into our next episode.
Time to eat. Let's go. Adios.